Welcome back to my channel. As it says on screen now, this video will be about the software I use and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, basically the stuff I use. I'll show you the exe files. I'll give you a bit of an insight on the on each of the programs themselves that I have installed. With my new hard drive, I haven't put everything on it just yet. I've only put it on there as I've needed it. But yeah, I'll definitely run through a few things, and yeah, hope you enjoy the video. So let's get into it. Okay. Yeah, my first one is 7-zip installer, which is basically it does all types of zip files, RAR files, all sorts of stuff like that. Another program I use is Audacity. Now I use that to edit any of my audio. I don't use programs that correspond with like that tie in with other programs that I use. I'll show you a bit more of that when we get to it. And but yeah, Audacity is a pretty much one of the best sound editing software out on the market these days. I'll eventually get into that and run that as well. I haven't got that installed, but I will install it for this video. But I may skip to where it is installed. Coming up next is my AVG protection. I only trust AVG. I've tried numerous others and they haven't gotten rid of everything. I've tried all the major brands: Norton, Kaspersky. I've tried Panda, and so on and so forth, and nothing has come close to AVG. So I've stuck with AVG pretty much the whole way through since I've discovered it, and yeah, it's worked a treat every time. I've never had any problems with it. Nothing that couldn't be fixed either, so that's why I chose AVG. The next one is, everyone should have this by now, is Chrome, Google Chrome browser setup. Yeah, everyone should know what this is about. I have this as my default. I've gotten rid of Internet Explorer completely out of my system, and I've put Google Chrome on there as I've found it to be the fastest and the safest option to go through my personal experience. Now, the software I'm using to record my screen capture now is Snagit. This is version 12. I did have version 9 or version 10, I think it was, that only allowed my videos to run for 20 minutes, which is why they run out if I'd done over a 30-minute video. It ended up turning it into 2 separate clips. But now with this one, it allows to go a lot longer. I haven't seen how long it goes yet, but it goes well over 30 minutes. I've done a 40-minute video, 40+ minute video a few days ago, and it just keeps on going at the moment. Now, if I don't use my Windows Media Player down here, I'm definitely using VLC. That is, by all means, that is my two personal preferences, either the default Windows Media Player or I download VLC. Both play almost any, pretty much any format. VLC plays more formats than Windows Media Player does. So yeah. Now, again, this is where it gets into it. This is what I use. VideoPad Video Editor. I use that for editing all of my videos. I'm about to edit another video coming up, which you might get a sneak peek when I show you through it. So yeah, and the software just below it is what is a part of it as well, WavePad Sound Editor, which is basically the same thing as Audacity, except a bit more of a lower grade. I do keep the exe file there in case anything goes wrong with Audacity. That's the only time I ever use it. So yeah, we'll start from the top, and what I'll do is I'll install all of these programs. I'll install everything really quickly. Yeah, except for the things that I haven't got installed. So hopefully this doesn't take too long. And okay, that one's installed. Audacity. This video will be a bit longer than expected, because I'm installing some programs, and I'll be running through everything as well. AVG setup, everything else is ready to go. So yeah, I've got my VideoPad video editor, which I'll show you. I might show everything in order. So yeah, the 7-zip is basically a background type of thing, from what I understand of it. I may be wrong, but there's also down here, there's also express zip file compression, which is basically the same thing. Okay. I will keep skipping back to this folder to see what comes next, because I want to try and get everything in order, so then I know where I'm at with in my own head. So here we go with Audacity. I haven't got any clips, any sound clips ready for this, but basically what I can try and do, no, that won't work. Okay, basically what you can do here is turn up and down all the, you can monitor the microphone, like the mic level, monitor the background sound, change the pitch, cut things out, add all types of effects, as you can see. You can generate different tones, you can take out chirp, take out any noise. This is where you add tracks and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, under the effects and all that, you can analyze analyze things. You can do all sorts with this. Yeah, I like using this. You can pinpoint things that you can't necessarily hear in other programs. You can pinpoint a certain sound as well. You can get up really close, pinpoint the sound, or take the sound, flatten the sound out basically, so it takes all the jitters and all the static and all that sort of stuff out of it. So that's pretty much the basics. Without putting a clip in there, that's pretty much the basics for Audacity. Next on the list is AVG. Hopefully this starts up. Usually it just runs in the background. Here we go. Now it comes up as AVG Zen, but there is a section where this is where all your internet security protection, your computer protection, your identity protection, email, firewall, all that sort of stuff comes into play. And then you've got your performance, your safe surf, and your web tune-up, which are other things you can use on there as well. Personally, I don't have it on there at this point in time. I don't feel that I need it, but I will be getting close to it pretty soon, I reckon. There's not really much to say about AVG. Everyone's got it. Chrome, everyone's got Chrome. Snag it. I'll find it in here. You've got the Snag It program, which I'm using at the moment. It won't allow me to show it, I don't think. But you've got the Snag It bar, which pops up down here on my computer. It pops up down here on the bottom right if I'm recording here, or if I'm recording in a web browser, it'll pop up there. But generally, as soon as you start recording, it jumps in the background, and if you click on it from your taskbar, it will automatically pause it, which is great. Alright, so here's a few things I've got here. There's a few videos which we can play back. We can, I haven't actually gone through this. I don't use this Snagit editor for anything, but I'll do a general rundown for it, just for you guys. See, you got all your tools, all your general tools. You can do steps, you can do take out blur, you can highlight certain areas, erase stuff out. So basically it's like another version of Photoshop almost. But it works with videos as well. Now, there's not much I can show you about this because I don't use it. It just saves here all my videos that I record on my laptop. Save here, and I basically get them from here and chuck them into my editor, which I'll show you very soon. Okay, anyone who hasn't heard of VLC Media Player, this is basically the gist of it. It plays most formats, like I said earlier in the video. It's pretty basic. Yeah, we'll get the updated version on take. Hopefully it doesn't take too long. But yeah, VLC plays more formats than Windows Media Player does. I use Windows Media Player as my default, and if it doesn't play, if any of my videos or anything doesn't play in that, I switch over to VLC and open the file with VLC and basically just run through that. Basically, I run my videos through VLC if Windows Media Player won't play them. Okay, from here you can install it. Alright, come back to VLC once it comes back. Now, one thing I will add, no, not just yet. How far are we through this? How far are we through this? Oh, it's coming up next actually, after I've shown you a little bit around VLC for those that haven't seen it or know anything or much about it. So hopefully this installation finishes soon. If not, I'll just cut the video and enter finish. Which is finished now anyway. Yes, we'll run the new one. Doesn't look like much has changed. Now from here you can open files. By the looks of it, you can stream as well, which I didn't know. Awesome. You can convert and save files as well through it, which you should be able to do through Audacity and my next program as well. You got all your standard playbacks. You can adjust the speed of it and all that sort of stuff. Here you can choose your audio devices and audio tracks and all that sort of stuff. Choose the zoom, crop, aspect ratios for video. Enable or disable subtitles. Then you got your effects and filters and track synchronization, as it shows in this little panel. You can adjust the view the way you want it, and basically make it how you want to make it. And yeah, you've got all your general stuff down here, you've got your volume, and yeah, it's pretty straightforward with this. So that's it for Audacity. Now, for Video Pad, which is my video editing software, it comes in an entire suite from NCH. Now I've got something open here. Yes, it's going to be a Monopoly video, but basically what you can do is see down here you can edit it with try wavepad now, I choose not to. So the basics with this is you either drop or open your file, and you drag it down into this video track 1, and it will automatically scan through and set up both the audio and the video track, all in the best synchronization that the video can offer it. And basically what you can do is you can save the project if you have to do something and come back to it later, and you can import the video into any of these formats. I'll do this for an example, but I won't actually save it. If you're going to export it as a video, then you can choose where you want it to go. You can do a custom preset, or it's got heaps of other presets available as well. You can choose your file format from either of these. You can choose your resolutions. Personally, I keep everything to default. The only thing I change is the format, because it automatically drops it into AVI. So what I do is drop it down to MP4. Personally, I reckon it's one of the best formats. It's one of the most known formats. You can do the maximum frame rate as well, which I keep stock. You got your encoder options, you got your constant frame rate approval. Once you've set all this up, you can have it as detect as well, and that will get everything from the video itself. And then you just click create. I'm not going to do it yet because this video hasn't been edited. But you can add music files, you can add text. With the music files, you've got an extra bars down here. Now if you drop a audio clip below your audio track 1, seeing as it won't let you delete the audio track 1, if you want to put music there and take out audio track 1, you can't take it out. You have to basically drop the volume down. As far as I've worked out, I haven't got my head fully around this yet, but yeah, that's what I've worked out. That's what I've been doing. I've been dropping like background music or background noises and stuff like that down here, and just either muting or dropping the level down to 0 on track 1 and just keeping track 2 at full volume. Another thing you can do is add text, which you then, after you've typed, it will automatically drop into the into this overlay section down here. Then you can what you can do is, if you don't like it where they've put it, where it's been put, you can undo and drag it wherever you want. Or an easier way to do it is go to a certain part of the video, type what you want in the text editor, and it'll drop it right where the red mark is. And another thing, if you're doing editing in the same blue section, if you drag like this, you can select a certain amount of or certain section of video, and you can either split all tracks or delete the selected region. And then from here you've got all your clips, all your video clips that you got in here, all your audio and image sequences. This allows you to get closer to your audio, allows you to get closer to your video and imaging sequences. And then you've got your export, which is basically what I showed you back in the export video file tab over here. Now this here is this is what comes with the rest of the suite, which is that other little file I had on my desktop that I showed you. This all comes with it, and then you can obviously customize your own bar which I personally don't need. That's it for a sneak peek of that. And yeah, I reckon I might end that here. There are a couple of other things I use. Like there's my Steam. Yeah, I play RuneScape. I got K-Lite codec as well. To be honest, I'm not 100% sure what that does. But I was recommended to it for a couple of programs. Yes, I have Kakao as well. I do have Google Earth, but I just don't install it. There's all my driver stuff as well. That's another game, Car Mechanic Simulator 2015. That's the closest thing I've found to Gearhead Garage, which this is the closest thing I found to Gearhead Garage that I can run. That will run on these later model computers. So yeah, I reckon that wraps up this video for today. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and feel free to leave any feedback or comments down below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.